Oh, woo! I took off nail polish. That's okay. Delicious. So, I have to put this out somewhere on the internet, and I'm not quite sure where, so I decided here, because it was just a weird experience. I'm really hyping this up to be more than it really is. But anyways, let's get into this story. You've been waiting long enough. You've been waiting, what, 45 seconds? That's 45 seconds too long. Let's get into it. Woo! Okay, this look right here. It is Noix de Coco. It's coconut. Tastes like sunscreen. I love it. It's great. I am way too hyped for this. So this is being filmed on the Monday afterwards. Now this happened on the Saturday, so this is like still pretty fresh in my mind. And honestly, I'm not quite sure what to do with this information. I just know I need to put it somewhere on the internet. And I guess this is the place to do it. So it is Friday night. I'm sitting on the couch. My mom goes, "Hey, look, I need to go to the quilt shop tomorrow in Camrose, hour and a half away from where we are. And do you want to come with me?" I just spent like 4 days on a Zoom call, so I'm like pretty tired of staying in the house. Anything is better than staying at home for a day. Free food, free ride. I was promised a coffee as well, like at some point throughout the day. I didn't get it, but I wish I did. I mean, it was a pretty solid trip. I'm not gonna complain. So we leave relatively early. I had like an apple for breakfast. I promise this is important to the story later on. I'm not just throwing this in here. You may think, hey, what are you doing? I promise this is important. I have an apple, no coffee because I was promised that later. And we head out. We're ready to go. So we get to the quilt shop. She's here to pick up like some rollers, but she has a quilt that she wants to make. Now, it didn't come in like the color she wanted, so she had to customize it. Now, most quilts, like if you're gonna customize it, maybe you'll need like 4 fabrics, like 5. This one had 17. 17 different fabrics. 17. So I was basically told, because I volunteered to come here and quilting is her thing, she basically says like arms. So I've got my arms. Okay. I've got my arms held out like this, just holding 17 bolts of fabric. Now, you may think at 17, am I actually rolling on it? I have my chair stuck on this. Can I fix it? I sure did. So anyways, I am told to hold out my arms, hold 17 bolts of fabric. It's very heavy once you combine them. Like if you hold one, and these are like pretty thin fabrics, it ain't heavy with one. You give me 17, and I really shouldn't skip arm day. I'm surprised I don't have any more muscle. I don't have any muscle, but you know, I didn't skip arm day that day. Let's just say that, and I usually do. So that's also probably why it was so heavy. But we get going on this. Overall it takes us about like an hour to get this figured out. And so the quilt guy who's like cutting things up, he says, "Look, this is gonna take us a while. Just go have lunch for like an hour. So come back. You should be ready to go." So we head out for lunch. My mom says, "Look, I know a spot." And I go, sure, why not? You know this place better than I do. I usually don't drive an hour and a half to go to a quilt shop. So, I mean, you must know what you're doing. So she takes us to this like cute little Scandinavian restaurant. Never been there. I mean, they know what they're doing. Obviously, like their lefse. I've never had it before. Delicious. They did a white chocolate with cardamom. Now, this has nothing to do with the story, but the white chocolate with cardamom, cardamom. It was delicious. It was a great combination. Never would have thought it. So we get in. I am hungry again. I mentioned earlier in the story, I had an apple and no coffee. So I'm feeling pretty tired. I'm ready for some food. So we order like some Swedish meatballs, a sandwich. We split it, we're good to go. So as kind of we're sitting down, we're getting ready to eat, this guy with a blazer walks in. And I don't really think much of it. I think, maybe we're gonna like witness some kind of businessy kind of lunch, but I'm not gonna worry too much about it. Now, for context, before we get any further in the story, because this also kind of pertains to later on, I did not get dressed for this situation. We left early, I was tired, I didn't eat anything or have any coffee. So, I mean, the top half of the fit is kind of good. I've got like a cute little bomber jacket, I got some nice jeans. I haven't left the house in a while in casual clothes, so this was my time to strut, you know what I mean? I think we've all kind of felt that at this point. But then, you look down at the shoe choice and it kind of goes downhill. I was wearing black Costco Puma socks and reflective slides. I'm really hoping I'm editing in a picture here to just show you. Yeah. And then, I barely brushed my hair. I'm wearing glasses, and I got pimples everywhere. It really does not look good. It's not a good look. So I'm kind of thinking, you know what? Probably don't know these people. Hour and a half away from where I am. We're safe. We're probably safe. Then some other lady walks in. She's got a t-shirt, blazer, and she's like, oh, well, I'm sorry, that we're a little late. We were kind of running behind with some of this farm stuff. Again, little nugget to the story. That day was open farm days in Alberta. Open farm days is just like, you let people in your farm, they can check it out. This year is more just like, you can buy stuff. They had a reserved table on the corner too. So that was kind of like the puzzles pieces are coming together. And it's coming together in a way that I don't like, especially considering what I look like at that moment. So, we get our food, and I'm starving. I shovel my face full of food, and just as I take one huge bite, a bunch of people walk in, and I can't really hear much. I'm only piecing together little bits, but the one thing that I did catch was the introductions. Mainly, and this is the minister. I'm wearing white reflective slides. I look like they pulled me off of the street. And the minister walks in. So I've got my face full of food. And I give this look of pure fear of just... And I have to take a minute because at the same time, they didn't say who the minister was. They didn't say what they do. Because this was all prearranged. They didn't have to say. And so it's kind of like, who's that Pokemon? It's who's that politician? Because I don't know. I don't know. And the one thing I worried was like, okay, is this politician going to have to know me later on? Like, am I going to run into this person at some point down the road? And how embarrassed should I be for really that first impression that I'm currently making? So there's only us. There's one other old couple that had just left, and then there's the politicians and everyone else. Now, I see 2 cameras walk in, but I swear it felt like 20. And again, I don't look good. I don't want to be photographed in this situation where it's being published for other people to see. So I am freaking out. My first instinct is, where can I hide? But you can't just duck and cover because that looks weird. So they sit down, they're taking a bunch of pictures. I can't even look to see what they're doing because they were very good about it of just like, I'm sorry, we'll let you get back to your supper really quick. Like, you can do whatever you want. They were good about it. But you can't just make it worse by going, you know what I mean? That's weird. And I don't want to make matters worse than they already are. We get out, we pay for food, get our stuff. I try to just be as inconspicuous as possible. I'm just like, look, don't pay any attention to me. Don't look at me. Don't remember I was here, okay? So we get in the car, find out it is the Minister of Tourism and Economic Development. So kind of an important minister, one could say. To make matters worse, I find out that she runs the one group that provides one of the projects that I've been working on with the stuff that it needs. So for any sciencey people, it basically like a part of cellulose that I've been using for food packaging. She runs the people that, when you get down the food chain, they give that to me. And her first impression of me is, Jesus, this hot chocolate sure tastes good, don't it? So I'm freaking out of like, oh my God, I should have just been like, hey, so that project I'm working on, Mother, the one you are familiar with, that uses the thing that a certain someone takes care of. Yes, I would love to have some more of that and continued support towards my project. Correct? I should, but I didn't know. So long story short, like really long story short, you're not safe. You're never safe. Not even when you think, I'm going to a quilt shop, are you ever safe? It's just that I look like a slob in front of a politician at a bomb Scandinavian restaurant, so yeah, I don't really know where this one was going. I just needed someone to tell that. I got a lot of really dumb stories around it, stuff that I've done around important people, and just where I have fumbled like hard. And this is one of them. So I'm really going back to my roots with the story time vlogs, but really at my own expense. And I really don't want to go. You know how history kind of like recycles itself? So yeah. Cheers.